Hey, what's going on, guys? Copop here, bringing you another episode. And today we are starting a new series, and I'm gonna try and get some suggestions from you guys. But really, I have a lot of ideas for this new series. So this series is basically tips, including games of, you know, factions, mini games, and a lot of other things. For survival too, survival games, and yeah. But this is the first episode, so before I get started, first thing I want to mention is IP's right here. If you want to join me, as soon as you join the server, you go straight, and then there will be a blue kind of building. You go in there, and I'm the portal on the left. That is like Idris, I think. So yeah. The next thing I want to mention is that if you do want to join my channel, here is a link to my channel, and it will basically send you to my channel, and yeah, join the chickens. Yay. Anyways, let's get started. So this first episode is about factions, and it's factions base defenses. So like I have a lot of ideas for factions, like farming and grinding and a lot of things. But we're doing base defenses today. So the first thing I have to say about base defenses is basically it depends on what kind of base. Now we're gonna get to that later in this video, but if you're building a base to store all your stuff, then build one of these kind of bases. They're called vaults, and basically what they are is your chest. These chests are basically unraidable, because if you guys know how to do the creeper thing where you can creeper egg the chest, that basically does not work because of these glowstone, and the fences just make it even harder. So yeah, this is pretty OP. It's not that much stuff, but it's a vault. It's not supposed to be a lot of room for a lot of things. Like for example, I have kit V1. Let's do it. And basically, oh, that's not supposed to go in there. Now, yeah, it's basically like, there's my pants, here's my chest plate, here's my helmet, here's my boots, here's my OP stuff, and then here's my golden apples. My god apples will go in there too. So, yeah, basically it's just a little vault for you to do your stuff at and store your stuff or your valuables. Let's get on to number 2. Okay, so number 2 is very simple. It's basically a water defense. If you guys know anything about factions, it is basically defending your base. Not only your chest, but defending the base. And this base is pretty defended. This was a canon of when I first claimed this base, and I was like into building it and stuff. So all I did basically was I dig up a layer up there, 2 layers so I could stand in there, and I digged out all of these sides, and if I could float, up there in time, then I could show you what I did. So this is basically what I did. Now, the first thing that you gotta memorize is all you have to do is place down water in this row and in this row, and they'll all flow together, and it looks really cool if you're building a really big base. So yeah, another thing you have to remember is corner bustables. People can shoot a TNT at the right time and bust their corners. They get in from the corner, and there goes your base. But it's really easy to deflect this. Just place a water bucket right here. Water goes down there. It's no longer a corner bustable. They have to use a sand cannon like always. I do want to mention that I'm going to go over cannons in the next episode, so don't worry about you having to know all these cannons. So, yeah. So the next thing I want to mention is basically, what blocks do you use for building a base like this? It depends on what kind of server you're playing on. If you're playing on a really, really OP server where like you can get bedrock really easily, then use bedrock. It really does not matter. But if you're playing on a server like this, where there is no bedrock and obsidian actually costs a lot, as you can see, right? Sorry about this. 320 obsidian for 60k, and people actually bid for it. It does cost a lot. So, but when you're playing on those kind of servers, if you just want a base to protect yourself, make it out of cobblestone. It really does not matter. And it's really easy to just, just do this. And yeah. Next, number 4 or 3 is going to be where to build it. Now, there are multiple places to build these kind of farms. For example, underground, in the air, in the nether, on top of the nether, and even in the end. But I found the most hardest one, but, well, not the hardest one, but the best one, to be either in the nether or in underground. I have my reasons to back this up. My first reason, when you're underground, you basically need to TNT a lot more areas, and it could really mean a difference from you saving your base from getting raided. And if you do it in the overworld, people might not know another way to build a simple cannon where you don't use just redstone and TNT, where they have to use the dispensers. So, it could save your base. But if you are doing it in the end world, then it's also really good, because people can fall off if they're not smart enough, and they die, and they could definitely lose that raid. So, the end world is also good. One more thing, and it is basically what kind of base. Now, this is a pretty big question, and it depends on what kind of faction you're in. If you're in a faction where you can claim land and it's just you and your friends, then I recommend building one of these bases. It has a 9 area claimed, so if you do F claim radius 2, if I'm not mistaken, it basically claims an area, and I wish I could show you, but I really do not want to give out the base coordinates. So, not only that, but it's just okay, because people know that they're not going to get that much, or maybe it's a god raid, you never know. Okay, now my number 2 kind of base, is basically a sky base. Now, this is very interesting, because people don't always have time to find a sky vault or sky base, and what it basically is a bunch of chests like these, kind of placed down as the floor, and it's trapped chest, and it's not claimed, so basically get away with everything. The only way people can find it is by basically the only way people can find it is basically by going up there and turning up their chunks as much as they can. And you build this at the sky limit, guys. So yeah. Following up with that last one, we're gonna be saying another hidden base. And It is basically dispensers. So imagine this cobble as dispensers, and basically you have a wall of dispensers. The reason this works out is because people don't always, like, no, people don't have X-ray for dispensers, and more people can find sky vaults than like dispenser bases, because there's also another thing you can do, and that is placing lava on top of it. But make it look like a lava pool. Don't make it look like a, a normal like base. Make it look like a lava pool, and that could definitely save you from getting raided. And yeah, there's one more base, and that'll be the end of the episode. So guys, this is the last base. I find this basically kind of the worst base, but it has its perks. Some guy actually came in and found it. I just realized he didn't take that hopper, which is interesting, but he did take the other hopper. That's sad news for my faction series. So what this base does is that it's basically a farm base, guys. You don't claim it, because if you did claim it, people would just find it, and yeah, you don't want that to happen. Not only that, but it's a great kind of base. You can always just farm here. You make a good cactus farm, and that's coming up in another episode about making cactus farms and other farms. And we might actually leave this base, but that's going to be in a faction episode. So, yeah. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. I kind of like these kind of episodes, We're going to do a lot more, guys. And, again, if you haven't closed it, then go ahead, subscribe right here. Why not? And, subscribe here right here. Go to the beginning of the video if you want to make sure you know how to get to this kind of area, and try and find my base and raid me. That'll be awesome to have enemies. But yeah guys, hope you enjoyed. This isn't a faction episode, just to tell you this is a tips episode, and I'm gonna make a lot more of these, guys, and I'll see you all later.